Good morning, grade 10 students. In this video, we're going to start our new chapter talking about the hormonal communication. And to be more specific, we're going here to talk about the endocrine system. What is the endocrine system? What are the different parts of the endocrine system? What is the difference between endocrine system and the nervous system? What are the components of the endocrine? What do they do? What the meaning of a hormone? What the meaning of a target organ? What is the function of the hormone? What are the different glands and their different types? And also, what are the different functions of these glands? We are going to study about the glands, their hormones, their target organ, and the role over the body on which organ, which target organs, and if they have any function over the whole body. So let's start first with the types of communication. Communications in the body, we have two types of communications. The first type of communication is called the nervous communication. As its name indicates, nervous communication. It's the communication that occurs through the nervous system. So nervous communication is the communication that occurs through the nervous system. This communication is very fast. It occurs in milliseconds. Whereas the second type of communication is called the hormonal communication. What is the hormonal communication? Is the communication that occurs through hormones. And we will discuss what the meaning of a hormone and what do they do. This communication is different from that of the nervous communication. This communication is very slow compared to that of the nervous. It occurs in a few seconds. Pay attention here, a few seconds is very slow compared to the nervous one. Also, it may take about minutes. This is slow as it compared for the nervous. It's fast. Now let's move to the comparison between the nervous communication and the endocrine communication or the hormonal communication. Nervous communication, we need a message that is a nervous message, whereas the endocrine communication is going to be a hormonal one. How? Through the secretion of hormones. This endocrine communication is a slow response or the slow communication as it compared to the nervous, which is the rapid one. Nervous communication is electrochemical. Remember when we talk about the nervous system, we talked about electricity and chemicals. Electric, we have potential difference, delta V. We have chemical, we have the ions, Na plus, K plus, Cl minus, Ca2 plus. The different gradient concentration of these ions will cause action potential, no action potential, will lead to depolarization, repolarization, or others. And the endocrine communication, it occurs through a chemical message, through the hormones, which are a chemical messengers. Nervous communication or the nervous message is transmitted from a neuron to a neuron or to an effector organ. So it's nervous. It's transferred from one neuron to a neuron or from neuron toward the effector organ, a muscle or a gland. While the hormones, they are transported through blood from the glands to their target organ. Now we're going to discuss what the meaning of a target organ. Effector organ is connected to the nervous system by what? By the mean of nerves, whereas target organs are connected to the endocrine glands. How they are not connected to the endocrine glands, and there is no connection between them. They are connected through the blood, through the secretion of hormone. Nervous communication is not controlled by the endocrine one, whereas the endocrine may or may not be controlled by the nervous communication. What is a gland? First question, what is a gland? We're talking about glands, they secrete hormones and so on. So what is a gland? A gland, it's an organ inside the body. For example, salivary gland in the mouth. We have gastric gland in the stomach. We have pancreas in in the region of the abdomen or the small intestine. We have, for example, intestinal glands. Also, we have different glands. We are going to discuss them in this session. What is the function of the gland? The gland, it's an organ. What does it do? It synthesizes or it produces or it releases or it gives certain chemical substances. These certain chemical substances, we are going to call them from now on the hormones. They have specific target organ. They have an organ that they have to move toward it. They have a target. This target is called a target organ. For example, a hormone is secreted to move toward the, let's say, the liver. Okay? To work at the level of the liver. So the liver is specified as a target organ. We have three types of glands. The first type of gland is called the endocrine. Remember when we talk about endo, it secretes hormone into, so directly into the blood. So endocrine glands, you can study it from now on as endocrine, they secrete hormone into the blood. Example about this, we have thyroid gland. Thyroid gland, by the level of neck, it secretes thyroxine into the blood. Or we have pancreas that secretes insulin into the blood. Anyone knows what is the function of insulin? By raising your hand. What is the function of insulin? Do you know? What does the insulin do? Yes, Fatima, what is the function of insulin?
It
It
sugar level.
It regulates the level of sugar. Excellent. So it regulates the level of sugar. To be more specific, it regulates the level of glucose. Yes, Ahmad. What do you think? Ahmad Farhad, raising your hand. You want to answer, Ahmad? Yes, Ahmad. What do you know about insulin?
It lowers the concentration of sugar in the blood.
Yes, it regulates the level of sugar in the blood. And to be more specific, thank you, Ahmad, and thank you, Fatima. So to be more specific, it regulates the glucose level. So whenever we have high level, and it will give it to back to the normal level. This is the function of insulin. That's why some people they have a problem in the sugar level because they have problem in the insulin, and this is a type of diabetes. Okay. So thank you, Ahmad and Fatima. Let's move now to the second type of glands, which is the exocrine glands. Endo, as we said, gland they secrete hormones into. So now we're going to move to the exocrine glands. What are the exocrine glands? Exocrine glands, they are the glands that secrete substances through special ducts, through special, for example, way for them, through special tubes, or there is through special way for the glands or for their substances. For example, what do we have? We have salivary glands. What do they secrete? They secrete saliva. Where? Into the mouth. Whereas pancreas secretes pancreatic juice where into the small intestine. So salivary glands, they secrete the saliva. Saliva, as you know, is the one that's found inside our mouth. It has an important role in helping of digesting the food, and to be more specific, it has a role on starch. Remember from grade 9. Okay, so it has a role in digestion of starch. It contains the enzymes called salivary amylase. So salivary glands, they secrete saliva where? Into the mouth, whereas pancreas secretes pancreatic juice to the small intestine. Third type of gland is called the mixed gland. So mixed gland, they has both endocrine and exocrine. So if you notice that we have an endocrine, we have pancreas, and the exocrine, we have also pancreas. So in the endocrine, pancreas secretes insulin into the blood. So it secretes hormone into the blood, insulin into the blood. This is the first role of pancreas. Second role of pancreas, it secretes pancreatic juice to the small intestine. This is what's known by the special ducts into the small intestine, salivary glands, into the mouth. So these are the special ducts. They have special way to move through. So here, pancreas is an example about the mixed gland. It secretes both, or it has both endo and exo functions, endocrine function and exocrine function. These glands, example about them, the pancreas, where it secretes insulin into the blood, and it secretes also pancreatic juice into the small intestine. So it has both endocrine function by secreting hormone directly or into the blood, or it secretes substances through special ducts, like the case of pancreatic juice into the small intestine. So this is the type of mixed gland. Now we move to the target organ. What is the target organ? The target organ is an organ where the hormone can act. This hormone, it has special receptors, like this case. This is the organ. Imagine that this is the organ. This organ has special receptors where the hormones are going to fix. They're going to sit on, for example, you imagine this receptor as a chair. A chair, one person is going to sit over the chair. So the person is the hormone and the chair is going to be the receptor. So whenever they bind the hormone to its receptor on the cell or on the organ, which is the target organ, this will induce a change. For example, insulin, it works to decrease the level of sugar. Whenever the insulin binds to the receptor, this insulin will work and will decrease or regulate the level of sugar into the blood. So here you have to know first what is a target organ. It's a specific organ where the hormone can act. The target organ, what does it possess? It possesses possesses specific receptors for the hormone. Whenever it binds to its receptor, which one it refers to the hormone. Whenever the hormone binds to the receptor, this will induce a change. Someone is going to ask me, shall we study this word by word? I said no. No, biology is not like this. It's not studying by heart, word by word, and you have to copy it exactly if I told you about the target organ. Even though in the exam, I'm not going to give you a question, what is the target organ? This is clear. Target organ, if for example, if I told you, tell me what happens whenever the secretion of hormone, or tell me the steps, you have to know, as your acquired knowledge, that the target organ has a receptor. This receptor is for the hormone, where the hormone will bind to the receptor on the target cell. Whenever the hormone binds to the receptor on the target cell, this will help the hormone to start working, and then it will induce a change in the formation or a change in the cell or change in the regulation of specific substances, like the case of insulin, let's say. So here you have to know that studying by heart will not help you a lot. I want you to understand more than studying by heart. But here you can say, I can use my own words. Yes, you can use your own words, but you have to keep some of the keywords. Some of the keywords that are in this sentence, let's move for some of the keywords. Some of the keywords for this sentence we have is an organ, specific organ. It has possesses receptors. So you have to say it has receptors for hormones, and you have to say the binding of them, it induces a changes in the target organ. These are keywords. All of them, all the others, you can use your own words to give me the idea. But you have to know that the target organ, it has receptors. These receptors, they are for what? For the hormones. Whenever the hormone bind to a receptor, this will induce a change. So here, you don't want to study it by heart, word by word. So biology is not like this. So you have something, sometimes you have to study steps or something, you have to study definitions, but this is more to understand it, the concept. So whenever the cell, the organ or the gland secretes a hormone, this hormone will move to the target organ. This target organ, it has receptors. Whenever the hormone attaches to the receptor, this will induce a change in the target organ. That's it. Here we move to the steps. Steps of the hormonal communication. Also, these steps, you don't want to study it word by word. You can use your own words, but to keep the same idea or the same meaning. So let's start step by step. We have secretion of a hormone. First of all, the hormone is going to be secreted by what? By the endocrine gland into the blood. So first of all, secretion of the hormone. This is the first step. Then the hormone will move into the blood, will circulate into the blood vessels. This is the second step. So first step, secretion of the hormone by the endocrine gland where into the blood. The hormone will circulate into the blood. So you have to use the word circulate. You don't want to say it moves. Okay? Let's try new words. It circulates. Step number three, the hormone will move toward the target organ. This is the most important word in step number three. All of you, you know that the hormone is going to move into the blood. Where does it move? It moves toward the target organ. Number three, fixation of the hormone to specific receptors. Where are these receptors? They are found on the target cell. This will form a complex which is called hormone receptor complex. What do we call this hormone receptor complex? Hormone receptor complex is the binding of the hormone to its receptor on the target cell. Here, step number four. Number five, the formation of this hormone receptor complex, meaning that the binding of the hormone to its receptor induces a response or a change in the target cell. They are similar to that of the target organ. So I'm going to repeat them using my own words and giving the same definition. A hormone is secreted by endocrine gland. The hormone will circulate into the blood. Then the hormone will move toward the target organ. The binding of the hormone to the target organ forms hormone receptor complex. So the binding of the hormone to the receptor gives hormone receptor complex. Whenever this complex is formed, this will induce a change in the target organ or the target cell. Here, I make a summary. I created a summary using my own words, but keeping the key words here, like secretion of hormone. I can't change it into secretion of another thing. It's a hormone. Secretion of a hormone. It circulates into the blood. It fixes to the receptors on the target organ. This will lead to the formation of hormone receptor complex that will lead to the changes in the target cell. So here you can use your own words whenever you go to study. Studying the biology is not to study them by heart by word by word. It's not history. Okay? So you have to study them, and before you study, you have to understand. You have to analyze the information before you study it. Moving now to the table. This table is showing the name of the endocrine gland, their location, the hormones secreted, their function, and their target organ. Here, can you analyze this? I think no. We have to study them. Okay? So here we have to study these notes. So name of the endocrine gland. First of all, we have the pituitary gland. As we said before, pituitary gland is located at the base of the brain below the hypothalamus. It secretes two hormones. One of these hormones is called thyroid stimulating hormone, and the second one is called human growth hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates the thyroid gland to secrete the hormone thyroxine. So from its name, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. What does it do? It stimulates the thyroid gland to secrete the hormone thyroxine. Okay? What is the target organ? It stimulates the thyroid gland. So the target organ is going to be thyroid gland. Second hormone, human growth hormone. This one that the athletes or for example bodybuilders, they use it to, for example, to build muscles and to have huge muscles. So they use this hormone. Sometimes you hear about people, they took hormone, for example. This hormone is the human growth hormone, but it should be injected with a low amount and a very, for example, accurate amount. Otherwise, it will cause a lot of problems and sometimes it leads to sterility. Well, the meaning of sterility, it's the inability to give birth. So here you have to mention this and you have to know this because sometimes you're going to hear about this. Some people they took this hormone So human growth hormone, it can be injected, but it causes the appearance of the huge muscles and leads to the development and the growth of enormous muscles. But its injection should be very accurate, otherwise it leads to many problems, a lot of problems. One of them, it may cause sterility. So human growth hormone, HGH, it stimulates the growth and development. Using my logic, it's growth and development. It's growth only at the level of the muscles here? Sure not. It's growth at the level of the whole body. So it works throughout the whole body. This is the function of the pituitary gland by secretion these hormones, TSH and HGH. What do you have to study? You have to study that hormones secreted by the pituitary gland, they are TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, and HGH. It's located at the base of the brain, below the hypothalamus. What is the function of the TSH? As its name indicates, thyroid stimulating hormone. So it stimulates the thyroid gland to secrete the thyroxine. Target organ is thyroid stimulating hormone. So its target organ is the thyroid gland that's found at the level of the neck. HGH, human growth hormone, it stimulates the growth and development and it works throughout the whole body. So the whole body is the target organ. So here is the hypothalamus and this is the pituitary gland here. Moving now to the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is found here at the level of the neck. So it's found in this region. Thyroid gland secretes hormone thyroxine with its different versions T3 and T4. It influences metabolic reactions. What the meaning of this? Metabolism. Metabolism is the ability to burn out the fats, to get rid of the fats. Some people, they have high metabolism. They eat double the amount of other person. For example, Mr. Muhammad and other person. Mr. Muhammad eats a lot. Other persons eat the same amount, but Mr. Muhammad will keep the same form or the same weight or the same mass. But the other person increased the mass dramatically. For example, increase the weight to be to 150. Mr. Muhammad stays with 70. How? This is related somehow to the metabolism. Okay? Thyroxine, T3 and T4, they have an important role in the metabolism. So this thyroid gland, some people, they are obese due to this glands. Why? Because these glands, they are not functioning normally and they don't work normally. They don't influence the metabolic reaction. So what do you think? What is the problem when the thyroid gland is not functioning properly? Can you give me a hypothesis? Propose a hypothesis to say to explain the improper functioning of the thyroid gland. Why do you think sometimes the gland is not working properly? Irene, to hear new voices. Raising your hand other than Fatima and Ahmad Farhat. I don't need them. I don't need them. I want to hear other sounds. Let's move now to uh, Jad. Jad Rasas. What do you think? Give me a hypothesis. First of all, we said that hypothesis, it should be a prediction. Okay? So we said that hypothesis is like a prediction. You say maybe, for example, or we suppose that. So what do you think, Jad? What is the problem for people having problems in the thyroid gland? What is the cause of this?
استاذ بركي
English.
maybe because it's influence metabolic reactions.
No, no. You have to give a logical reasoning. Why does the thyroid gland have its problems? Why? It's sure it influences metabolic reaction, and we need the reason, not the effect. Okay, let's move forward. Kamel, Kamel, what do you think? Thank you, Jad. Kamel,
Ustaz, maybe it doesn't secrete enough thyroxine.
excellent, excellent. Maybe there is a deficiency in the hormones thyroxine. That's why, that's why there is a problem in the thyroid gland and its functioning. What do you think, Yaqub? What do you think? Let's see, Yaqub. What do you think about this?
Um,
Other
that
than the one that is provided by Kamel, I came and said maybe there is a problem in the secretion of the hormones. What do you think? Another hypothesis. These are the questions that I like, and these are the questions that are going to be in the exam by as well. Okay.
Maybe it's a different target organ.
Maybe it has different target organ. Maybe it doesn't have receptors on the target organ. This is another hypothesis.
Okay.
So you have to fix it a little bit. Maybe there is
Okay.
no receptors, or maybe there is no, for example, empty receptors for these hormones. Thank you, Jakob. Good idea, but you have to fix it a little bit. Thank you, guys. So thyroid gland, it's found at the level of the neck. It secretes two hormones, thyroxine in its form T3 and T4, and they influence the metabolic reaction, and they work at the level of the body, the whole body. Okay, so here, this is the thyroid gland. It's found at the level of the neck. Here we finished for this session. So here we finished the first part related to the endocrine system.